How did you find out someone had a crush on you? Was leaving school one day and my small group of friends were hugging and saying, "Bye," when this girl that I was into but didn't know if she was into me raised her arms up and says, "What about me?" It was the best hug I've ever had. That was in 2005, we've been together ever since. Had a girl keep banging my leg under the table at a young St. Swiss chalet in the fall of '91. I just thought our group was too tight together and she needed space. Turns out I'm just a clueless idiot. We've been together since April of '92, so luckily she was persistent. When I was about 10, this girl in my class had a crush on me. She made it obvious, but I wasn't interested at the time. After school we never saw each other for a few years, then at 18 she apparently still had a crush on me. We've been married 18 years now, edit, thanks for the awards. Similar thing happened to me. She kept banging my leg under the table, but I suspected she had a crush on me. I had too, but another guy on the table was hitting her hard. Later the day she sent me some pictures of the party online and I said, "That guy really has a crush on you." She said, "Yeah, but he's not the guy I'm interested in." I replied, "I know, my knee is hurting, and now we are married." I was due in a couple weeks to move halfway across the country for my job, so I was hanging out with a local friend to say goodbye. That night I admitted I would have asked her out if I wasn't moving so far away. There was a moment of silence and she responded with, "Yeah." I probably would have said yes, you're quite the catch. Later that night we're lying on her bed watching anime. She gets up to use the bathroom, so I stretch my arms out. She comes back, sees me stretched out, says, "Oh, an arm," and cuddles right up to me. We're dating now. I opened my high school yearbook from my sophomore year and found a message from a friend that we should hang out together, and included her phone number. I only found it 18 years later and I feel horrible that I didn't see it because it probably made me look like an ass, and hurt her feelings. Usually they tell me like 20 years later, which helped teenage me immensely. Edit, fuck me, this comment blew up. Anyway, a hearty thank you all of you who said that they too have crushes me, and a side eye, weirded out but still a bit flattered look to all of you who are willing to fight for me. Not just normal fights either, to the death fights. The best kind. Woke up to her cuddling with me after a house party. Edit, we're friends of 10 years or more, drunk at a house party. She found me asleep and didn't want to risk driving, so she did the only thing she could think of. We were together for 3 years after that party, still friends too. Edit 2, imagine if roles were reversed. Oh, how edgy of you to think of something so original. Sheesh. She offered to carry my jacket to the next class when I had to stop at the bathroom. Went to the next class and it was placed on the chair next to her, and her best friend said, "Your boyfriend is here." I was young and shy. Did nothing. Regretted it. She was amazing. I was honestly just happy being her friend. She was a colleague who had heard I was leaving town. I wasn't, only going to be away for 2 weeks. And she took her chance by kissing me after we bumped into each other at a nightclub. It was a rare night off work for me. It's now 16 years and 3 kids later. So it worked out well for the both for us. I was pretty sure my friend's little sister had a crush on me when she started following me around like a lost puppy. Then she randomly started calling me by my first and middle name. Then she found out my birthday from someone and started telling me our age difference. It was kind of cute until she decided she should tell her friends that we were dating. We were not dating. I had a nice conversation with her letting her know that her crush was flattering, but she was way too young for me and that she needed to stop telling people that we were dating since it was not true, and could get me in a lot of trouble. In true typical teenager logic, she said that her parents wouldn't have a problem with it and I could date her if I wanted to. I briefly danced with a girl at a HS dance, before she told me one song was enough and went to the restroom. A few weeks later a mutual friend asked what I thought about her. I said that she was nice and cute, but she was obviously not into based on the dance. He told me to give it another shot. I asked her out later that day and we ended up dating for about a year. I had a 9-year-old neighbor's daughter just randomly out of the blue tackle hug me from behind and absolutely refused to let go. Your post reminded me of that. Her family was over and we were all just hanging out and chatting and she was off quietly playing when I laughed at something and out of nowhere, she ran at me. Everyone else could see her but me, and I didn't know what was happening until the whomp and squeeze. Her mom burst out laughing. The girl was giggling and squeezing as tight as she could. Burying her face into my back, she was literally half as tall as me and on her tiptoes to hang on to my waist. I had to spin around, look down to see her hands, then pry them apart and pretend to dance step her away from me. My attempt at trying not to embarrass her as I had never met her before, and to avoid getting grabbed onto again until her mom finally grabbed a hold of her, got eyes in the back of my head now. When I was in 7th grade, a boy wrote me the sweetest poem. I have it saved somewhere still. I still remember the line, "I'll take you to the movies, or even to the mall, even though I'm short, and even though you're tall. Mike, wherever you are, I hope you're happy and have the best woman ever, edit."
Aww.
Thanks everyone. Alas, we did not date, but this is because I was 12 and wasn't allowed. But I remember this poem and it's been over 30 years. I am mother to a short king myself and I hope he's as great as Mike the poet. Kind-hearted and romantic is a winning combination by anyone's standards. I talked to her at an ice cream shop. She was working behind the counter. First time meeting her and thought she was way out of my league. Had to be the prettiest girl I've ever seen. Red hair and blue eyes. No one else was there and she was recommending different things. Got my ice cream and left. I noticed her smiling a lot at me, which I was never used to. I've never thought myself to be attractive and I didn't date growing up. Came back a few days later and just decided to ask her out randomly to my friend's party. She actually gave me her number and we met up before the party at the park. Ended up getting dinner and going to the movies after. It was a very long first date, but we didn't seem to want it to end. 9 years later we are married and our baby just turned 1 year old. You never know till you ask. It was weird. I asked her out and she said she was a lesbian and I was crushed, but I respected it. Found out later from a mutual friend that she was lying, actually liked me too, and she quote said, "It wasn't in the plan for me to ask her yet." The mutual friend essentially said, "Dodge that bullet, while you still have a chance, edit." For those who have been asking, this was in first year of university. I saw her around campus fairly regularly after that and she never approached me about it. And the mutual friend had a massive falling out with her for some reason or another and then we grew apart as the years went on. Very anticlimactic I know, but what are you going to do, edit 2. My problem with it was indeed the lying right from the start, no matter what plan she had. I did question said mutual friend to give her the benefit of the doubt regarding her sexuality. It can be complicated, but they were very insistent and I had no reason to doubt the mutual as they had never lied to me before or after. I realized she sent me nudes because she wanted me to see her naked, not because she wanted to discuss photography. I found this out 15 years later, edit. I had it confirmed when we were speaking about our friendship.